What if I told you that 90% of all bass fishing success comes down to one thing? And it's not the fancy new lure in your box. After 30 years chasing largemouth from those muddy farm ponds where I started as a kid to massive highland reservoirs with my boat, I boil this entire sport down to the fundamentals that actually put fish in the boat day in and day out. I'm Travis from Green Valley Anglers. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn the three main bass species, why location beats lure every single time, exactly where the bass live in each season with hyper-specific spots and depths, and the simple lure categories that cover almost every situation. Stick with me. This is the crash course that turns beginners into consistent catchers and helps seasoned anglers tighten up their game. The three main bass species. Know who you're after. Let's start with the basics. There are three main bass species we target across North America: the largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass. A lot of guys will say a bass is a bass, but that's like saying every truck is the same. They each behave differently and live in different places. Will there be some crossover? Absolutely, but they each have their own comfort zones. Largemouth bass are the most widespread. You'll find them in neighborhood ponds, natural lakes, rivers, reservoirs, all 50 states, and even around the world. They're the bucket mouths we grew up chasing. The giveaway is that big mouth. When closed, the jaw extends past the eye. Northern and Florida strains mix into those giant hybrids that break 22 pounds. Smallmouths or smallies, they're the fighters. They're more curious and aggressive. They're like the Rocky Balboas, a little smaller in stature, but pack a punch and never give up. The world record is just under 12 pounds, but pound for pound, they're the hardest fighting. Their jaw doesn't go past the eye. They have a brown body with dark vertical bars. They love clear water, creeks, and rocky northern lakes. The spotted bass, or spots, are the hybrids of the group. Some look like largemouth, but have a super dark, blotchy lateral line with spots above and below. Their tongue feels like sandpaper, and the jaw stops short of the eye. They thrive in both clear reservoirs and stained rivers. I remember my first smallmouth on a deep, clear local lake. I hooked it on a grub, and it jumped 3 times before I landed. That fight taught me early: know the species, know your fight. The desire that we all chase, more of those heart-pounding battles and bigger fish in the live well. Get the species right, and suddenly your bites turn into stories you'll tell for years. Because you're fishing where they actually live. Location beats lure every time. Species are step one, but here's the game changers most anglers miss. Location beats lure almost every single time. Let's talk why and exactly where bass are in each season with hyper-specific spots and depths. You can throw the perfect lure all day in the wrong spot and catch nothing. But throw a mediocre one in the right spot and you'll fill your live well. That's the 90% truth I've lived for 3 decades.
We can get down here and do some damage. Yeah, let's go. This looks juicy. Oh, we're gonna pull one out of here, guaranteed. Guaranteed, we're gonna pull one out of here. Oops, that's not good. There it is. Here it is.
Bass need a few things to spawn. They're going to need some sunlight to warm their fertilized eggs, hard bottom to lay them on, and protected still water so current doesn't wash them away. Water temps in the 60s, usually March through May across most of the country. Southern states can start in January. Far north might push to June. But let's get hyper-specific on where bass actually live season by season, so you know exactly where to start your every trip. In winter, now think generally water below 50 degrees. Bass hunker in the deepest, most stable water for consistent temperature and minimal energy use. Largemouth stack on main lake humps rising from deep bottoms, sharp ledges dropping deep on secondary points, deep river channel bends with stump rows or brush piles, and deep timbered areas near the dam. Smallmouth tighten into rocky bluffs, sharp drop-offs or crevices, and spotted bass will mix rock and wood off deep structure. In the spring pre-spawn, again, generally 55 to 62 degrees water temperature, fish stage on transitions before moving shallow. Largemouth hold on secondary points and creek channel mouths in 8 to 15 feet. Then slide into protected coves with hard sand, gravel bottoms in 2 to 6 feet, south facing for maximum sun. Smallmouth stage on main lake rocky points and shallow flats in 5 to 12 feet. Spotted bass use a mix of both. During the spawn, think 62 to 70 degree water temperatures, shallow protected pockets and coves 1 to 5 feet deep with hard bottoms outside perimeters of flats near laydowns, stumps, or emerging grass. Largemouth loves super sheltered back ends of coves, smallmouth on open rocky flats and points, and spotted in mixed areas. Post-spawn, summer, we're thinking above a 70 degree water temperature as a general rule. Bass move to main lake structure and cover for stable oxygen and forage. Largemouth on main lake points, humps, and ledges 15 to 30 feet deep, grass lines, deep brush piles, or shaded cover and docks in 10 to 25 feet. They will also use thermocline edges in clear lakes. In areas with thick vegetation, largies will hunker down in the shade underneath canopies as well. Smallmouth push deeper to rocky points and offshore humps. Spotted bass roam open water following shad. During the fall, water starting to cool down, probably get down into the 50s, 55 degrees. Bass chase bait shallow again. Creek mouths, windblown banks, and flats in 2 to 8 feet following shad schools. Then transition back to ledges as temps drop. Largemouth hit windblown points and creek arms, smallmouth rocky banks and main lake points, and spotted bass do a little bit of both. But if there was one thing you take away from this, it's once you find the spawning areas, you're going to know where the best populations live the rest of the year. A good example for you, on huge reservoirs like Kentucky Lake, the big creek arms with massive spawning grounds hold fish all summer near the mouth. So eliminate water, fish near the best spawning grounds, and you'll catch more, period. I learned this the hard way on my home lake. I spent years beating the banks in summer until I started graphing main lake points and humps. One afternoon, I found a school on a 20-foot ledge and limited out in like an hour. That shift multiplied my summer catches dramatically because I was finally where the bass actually lived. So spawning sets the foundation, but after the beds, bass move to main lake structure and nearby cover. Let's break down the difference and how to choose your baits. So structure is the bottom contour. Think humps, ledges, drops, creek channels, points, and flats. Cover is the stuff on top. Brush piles, grass, docks, stumps, laydowns. On high contour reservoirs, focus main lake structure. Points, humps, ledges. On flatter natural lakes or lowland reservoirs, target main lake cover. Grass lines, brush, stumps. Ponds are kind of like upside down frisbees. Focus on cover near the center or hammer the bank line. Now that you know where they like to live, let's talk lures, the easy 10% that covers almost everything. So horizontal lures move sideways through the water column. Think crankbaits, spinnerbaits, topwaters, swim baits. Great for covering water and triggering reaction strikes. Vertical lures work up and down, jigs, drop shots, Carolina rigs, spoons. Perfect for precise fishing on structure or when bass are tight to cover. Match the hatch, imitate what they're eating, shad, crawfish, bluegill, worms. Color strategy is simple. Red and green stand out best to bass in most conditions. Use flash and stained water, natural, dark, and clear. 3 quick rules. 1. Start with location. 2. Choose horizontal or vertical based on depth and mood. And 3. Match the size and color to the forage. When you combine these fundamentals, your bites skyrocket because you're fishing smarter, not harder. That desire for more fish, bigger fish, and consistent success, it all clicks when you master these basics. In constant variable conditions, these timeless truths will keep your live well full no matter the lake. Here's a quick recap. Know your 3 bass species. Put location first every time with these hyper-specific seasonal spots. Understand structure versus cover, and choose horizontal or vertical lures to match the situation. That's literally 9/10 of bass fishing. If this helps simplify your approach, drop a comment with your favorite location over lure story, because I love to read those. Subscribe to Green Valley Anglers for more straightforward bass fishing wisdom that actually works. Hit the bell so you never miss a tip. Share this with a buddy who needs it. tight lines. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.